Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. What's going on? Our house guests of the day are Hector Salinas and Tammy Light. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Oh, Michael Pinto, what's up? Hey, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. The Big Brother house has been an absolute dumpster fire. But we're going to talk about all that. First, I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are amazing. So yesterday's super chatters, we've got Jefferson Tucker, Sloan Meister, Traval K, Jody Cortez, Mike Ames, Ashley Barnett, Hoth1, Tulipes 327, and M. Murray COJ. Thank you all so much. And thank you. I saw Jody Cortez and Jefferson Tucker. Thank you so much. Have already both super chatted for today. You guys are amazing. Honestly, we could not do this without you. And let me see. Let me answer Jefferson's question real quick. Do we have any info on Scenarios 2 YouTube channel? If they have a new account name, you're having withdrawals from feed highlights. I honestly don't know. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I'm assuming they got shut down because of like copyright. I can't tell you. I mean, I feel like if it's the same person that's had channels like that in the past, they'll probably pop up with a new one eventually, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. But anyway, thank you again for the support. What's on my knee? I fell off my bike a few months ago, so this is what is left of it. But anyway, before we get started too, I also want to apologize about all the ads on the videos lately. We did not do that. That is not an intentional thing. We check the videos every day after we're done streaming to make sure we don't have a million bajillion ads on there. And the other day, YouTube just decided to go in and like change it after we already checked and put like 15 ads on our video. So I really do not want that. I'm sorry that keeps happening. We are on it. And if that does happen, just let us know in the comments and we'll take care of it, because I know what a pain in the butt that is. So I apologize for that. Not intentional. I want to make it very clear. Not intentional. Okay, so let's get started on today's stuff. So when we left off yesterday, Devon and Bailey are up on the block. And we know that Devon has the votes to stay unless something crazy happens, right? So Bailey seems cool with it. She seems to accept that she's going to be going home. She says this is like the last time she's doing reality TV. She's out of here. She's fine with it. And she's getting a Tesla. She doesn't realize that yet. But anyway, Bailey and Enzo were in the lounge. They had a long conversation yesterday. And Bailey said, I don't have a campaign for you. People, when I talk to them, nobody's bullshitting me, and I really appreciate that. They're telling me straight up what they're going to do. And she said it seems like Day has the votes to stay, which she's, again, is fine with. So Bailey says, David keeps telling me to go talk to Tyler to get his vote, but I'm not going to do it. She says, Tyler's already set me up so many times in this game. He's just going to tell me to my face that he's going to vote to keep me, and then he's going to vote me out. And I don't want to go through that whole thing again. It's not worth it to me. So Bailey says another thing, she does not want their little squad to get split up over these votes. She doesn't want David and Enzo on the wrong side of the vote. She doesn't want Devon to be hurt if they don't vote for her to stay and think like, can I trust them? Should I be playing with them? Like, what's the deal? TV Talks with Tom. What's good? If you guys aren't already watching Tom's videos, check them out. He also does daily spoilers, and they're a lot of fun. Yeah, so she wants to make sure everybody's voting the same. She doesn't need anybody being on the wrong side of that vote. And she says, I'm not going to be upset if you guys don't vote for me. My own allies didn't vote for me in season 20, and I was fine with it. So, like, don't sweat it. So then Enzo says if he wins HOH, he's planning on flipping this house upside down. Are you though? Like, I love the sound of this and I'm like excited about it, but I'm also skeptical because we saw what happened during Enzo's first HOH when he was too scared to pull off a big move. So I don't know, maybe he's actually going to do something this time if he wins, We'll see. I don't know. But then they talk about how they're going to be friends forever, which I love. It's so great. And they talk about Dani and Nicole. They talk about how those two are super connected throughout the entire house. Bailey says they're the nucleus. Gotta look out for them. And Enzo's like, yeah, Dani's on my radar. She's been dropping seeds this entire time. Enzo could have evicted Dani, but he decided not to. But Bailey is telling Enzo, you need to be careful. No one is going to want to sit next to you in the final two. You need to make sure that you clip these MFers before they clip you. Right? So Enzo is making it sound like if he wins HOH, he would put up Dani and Nicole. Again, is that for real? Or possibly the champs. I love how he calls the former winners the champs, Nicole and Ian. And he's saying, I want to work with Devon, Dave, and Kevin. We'd love to see it. Enzo feels like he has a good chance to win this whole thing. He's going to be playing super hard. So then eventually Devon joins them, and Enzo says, now that you're both here together, I want to say I love you both. Obviously, as I've said before, I have more of a connection with Bailey, but he tells Devon, you're staying. You've got the votes, so let's do this. And Enzo says that Christmas has a hard-on for Bailey. That just cracked me up. He means Christmas wants Bailey out. But he says that untouchable shit was some bullshit. There are tons of pairs in this house. Like, that was a BS excuse. And he says Christmas is obviously good with everyone else. That's why she did that. Right? So Day is then saying to Enzo, okay, if I win HOH, if I pull the trigger on ya boy, Cody, are you going to be mad at me? And Enzo says, I love Cody, but that's your business. Do what you got to do. And I feel like Enzo is being honest here. I think he would probably welcome someone taking Cody out for him. He's not going to do it himself, but I'm sure he's thinking, oh crap, am I going to be able to beat Cody in those final competitions or in the final two? He doesn't want to risk that. So I'm sure he would be more than fine with somebody taking Cody out at some point. Right? But I don't think he's going to actively target Cody. So Day says, you're always talking about Dani and Nicole, but don't forget Cody is in the middle of all of that stuff with them. So he'd be a good person to take out. So then Devon and Bailey are telling Enzo, Cody's not going to take you to the final two if it's up to him. He knows that he's not going to beat you. Everybody likes you. And they say that Cody would take Nicole to the final two over him. Nobody is going to vote for a winner to win again. So Cody would want to take Nicole, right? And Enzo's like, I know. Something I got to keep in mind. Let's hope. So Day says, once Bailey is gone, everyone thinks that I'm super close with Kevin, but she tells Enzo, you're all I got. I don't know that that's necessarily true, because I think that Devon is super close to Kevin, but she's trying to make it seem like Enzo is it. That's all she's got. Okay. So anyway, Bailey leaves. Enzo and Day chat alone. And Enzo says, our side of the house is the two of us, David and Kevin. Again, I feel like he's sort of being honest here, and he does want to work with that side. But at the same time, he's going to float to whichever side is in power. So if this big group keeps winning, he's going to stick with them, right? I'm not really sure what he would do if he won HOH. Maybe he's just going to throw HOHs for now, or maybe he actually is going to make a big move. I don't know, but it seems like he actually does want to work with this side and make some moves potentially. So Day says, I want to work on flushing out these powers. She's pretty sure that Tyler has a power. She knows that Christmas has a power. So she's thinking, if I win HOH, I want to put up the two of them, get rid of both of the powers. Tyler doesn't have one. And if one of them comes off the block, put up Dani. That would be chef's kiss. So Enzo's plan is to put up Dani and Nicole, and if one of them comes down, put up Ian. Don't do that. I mean, I like the first part, but don't put up Ian. What? Okay, so meanwhile, I think he's just thinking like, okay, he's won already, so I'll just be able to say I'm putting up the champs. Okay, meanwhile, Dani and Nicole are talking in the photo bedroom. And Dani is convinced that Ian has been throwing HOH competitions, and Nicole is like, he didn't trust me. And then Dani's like, that knockout competition, though, when he was out on the first question. And Nicole's like, oh, yeah, he did. I honestly don't think he did. He really wanted to win that one. But they think that he's really going to go for it this week. They're not sure who he would put up, though. So Dani is then saying that she feels really bad. Something clicked with her the night before. Maybe like a diary room warning. She says, sometimes I forget that Ian's on the spectrum because he's so she says, I've worked with kids with Down syndrome. I've worked with a lot of kids and I don't see him as that. Maybe because autism and Down syndrome are not the same thing. Okay, so she says, I see Ian as someone who has weird quirks. He's just different, kind of annoying sometimes. But she says, I do enjoy him. I think he's so smart. He's funny. And I forget that he's on the spectrum. So she says, I had a moment where I felt really bad. And she says, I feel like I haven't been as understanding with him as I should be. And she says, I never want to be like that because I know that he can't help it and he doesn't have an understanding of social cues. Which, this is all nice and dandy, but I'm just going to tell you right now, this is not going to stop Dani from making fun of Ian later. So it's very, very upsetting. This definitely seems like something that she's talking about because she got another warning in the diary room. But apparently she's going to need more than that because it's not sinking in. So Nicole says, sometimes I realize it because of how he responds to things, but that's it. And Dani agrees. So then Nicole's like, what it came down to is I trusted Ian fully and I love him so much. But Cody doesn't trust him and you don't trust him. So I have to distance myself a little bit from Ian so I won't get mad at you guys when you're ready to get rid of him. Okay, so then they're talking about how they want to go to the Final Four with Cody and Day. They say they can't go to the end with Enzo because they're not going to be able to beat him in competitions and they're not going to beat him in the final two. I don't see you beating Cody either. I don't see it. But anyway, good for Day. Honestly, though, that would be a terrible Final Four. Like, I don't want that shit. Like, Devon, yes. The other three, no. Okay, so then Bailey and Day were chatting in the comics bedroom. And Day says, I'm thinking we might have to wear athletic clothes for the HOH competition. And Bailey says, well, I'm wearing a dress. I'm going out in a dress. And Day is like, but you never know. Things can change from second to second. She's saying, like, he might still be staying. We don't know. And Bailey's like, I'm done. The only person who could change the vote at this point is Tyler. And she says, I'm not giving him another opportunity to lie to my face and tell me that he loves me and cares about me. She's not doing it. Because if that happens again, she feels like she's going to go off on him and tell him how she really feels. So then Day is like, okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. So Day pulls Tyler aside to chat in the lounge. And she says, I pulled you in here because my heart is really heavy with the situation with you and Bailey. She says, I feel like you need to know that Bailey wants to make this thing right with you. I don't know if you believe that or not. And Tyler says he wants to believe it. So Day says, I know I should be working on votes right now. I am on the block. But she says this situation is very heavy on her heart. So Tyler's like, I've done everything I can. I was even going to leave this house so that she could stay. And he says there's nothing more that I can do to show her that I want to be her friend. So then Day is asking, well, what happened there? Like, did you have a change of heart when it came to you leaving this week? Like, what went down? And Tyler says, it wasn't good for Christmas's game. It would have made her look sketchy. I'm so curious what actually went down this week with the whole Tyler situation and him wanting to leave, because it's all super sketchy, especially the way that Big Brother blocked the feeds from us seeing the Tyler and Christmas conversations about it. I mean, who knows what even was said in the diary room, but we didn't even get to see what Tyler and Christmas were saying other than what was on the show. And the show made it seem like Tyler heard that Bailey said that she wanted Tyler's head on a silver platter, which is something that Devon was just saying to make sure that Christmas wasn't afraid of Bailey potentially coming after her. I feel like that was not the real reason why they didn't go through with this plan. It was a little crazy. But anyway, Day says she really wants Tyler and Bailey to talk. And Tyler's like, yeah, I've been wanting to be good with her for 2 years now. So then they do end up talking about the vote. And Devon is like, I don't expect your vote. You know, I'm not sure if you want to vote for Bailey to stay to try and make things better with her. And Tyler's like, well, she told me that she wants me to vote for you to stay. And Day is emotional and saying, like, I really appreciate and love Bailey for that. Okay, so then Devon goes back to Bailey. Now they're in the have-not room. And Day is worried that the whole head on a silver platter comment sealed the deal and made Tyler change his mind. I mean, if she was watching the episode, then that's what it would look like. But again, who knows what the real reason was. But she tells Bailey, I was just trying to deflect so that Christmas wouldn't be worried about you staying. At the time, she didn't realize that Tyler and Christmas were in cahoots and that was going to get back to him and then that was going to matter at all. So Day tells her about the conversation with Tyler. She was like, I couldn't have that on my conscience. You know, I need to try and make this right between you two. So then Day is crying and she says, as much as I want to be here, don't sabotage yourself. She says, fight to stay. You deserve to be here too. So she's telling Bailey, talk to Tyler, campaign, fight. And you can tell Bailey does not want to do this. But Day says, you're going to hate this, but you need to talk to Christmas too. She says, I don't care what lies you have to pull out when you're talking to her, but you need to. So then, where am I? Oh, okay. I have to say, like, this is very sweet of Devon, but she's up on the block against Bailey, and Bailey seems totally fine with leaving. So I feel like Day should just accept it and leave it as it is, right? Bailey is fine leaving, and the votes are there for Day to stay. So I don't know. But anyway, a little later, Bailey and Tyler do end up chatting in the lounge, and they both feel like it's not even worth talking about all of this anymore. They've had this type of conversation so many times. They're both exhausted about it, and they feel like they don't need to keep going in circles about it. So they chat for a little while. Bailey says when she gets home, she's going to make a PSA on social media saying all problems between Swaley and Tangela are squashed, and if you bring them up, you're going to be blocked. Okay, sure. So later, Nicole and Ian chat in the key bedroom, and Ian says he's getting hyped up for this HOH competition. He got kind of spooked when he heard his name starting to go around because Bailey was saying that Christmas said that Ian is her untouchable. Blech, untouchable. And we know that Ian is not Christmas's untouchable, but I'm honestly not sure if she said that or not, because I'm pretty sure that that conversation between Bailey and Christmas happened during one of those long feed outages. So I don't think that conversation was on the feeds, but everybody's been talking about it for days now. Oh, Life After Neverland is here. They also make Big Brother videos, so make sure you check them out too. So then Ian was saying he really wants to win this HOH competition, and he feels like he'll have a good chance at it if it is endurance, which they're suspecting it will be because the backyard has been closed off longer than it normally would. And it is going to be endurance. Big Brother announced today that like the competition is going to be on the feeds later. So we'll see what it is. I'm guessing it's going to be the back and forth, fill up the water jug or whatever. It could be the wall. It could be like the spinning one. So who knows? But it's going to be some sort of endurance. So then Ian is telling Nicole, if I win, I'm going to need you to help me a little bit. Nicole says, same here. So Ian says, Nicole, Cody, and Dani, like you three would all be safe because they're in that 4 Prime alliance. But he's lying. He's definitely lying. I'm pretty sure Ian is planning on targeting like Cody and Dani. So that's fun. Yeah, okay, it could be the chicken wire one as well. That's possible. So Ian is saying he's going to need more information before he can make a decision if he wins HOH. And he also wants to find out who has the powers, because maybe he could like make a deal with those people and like try to weaponize those powers instead of just flushing them out. So he's got to win HOH and get some info, bottom line. All right. So then Nicole is like, all right, well, I hope you're ready for this live show. Because she thinks that Bailey is going to call Ian out in her eviction speech as Christmas's untouchable. And Ian agrees, like, she might blow some stuff up. I don't think Bailey's planning on it, though. I don't think Bailey or Day are planning on doing, like, a Kaser type speech. I think it's just going to be, like, a chill thing. So, I don't know. That's what they were saying on the feeds, but we'll see. So, then Nicole starts BSing Ian. They start talking about the bullhorn and how Nicole is like, I can't believe they paired me up with Cody in that. Like, I'm way closer to you than I am to Cody, and I'm way closer to Dani than I am to Cody. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Christmas and Bailey, they are making amends in the bathroom area. We missed the beginning of this conversation, actually a lot of this conversation, because we were still getting audio from Ian and Nicole talking about the challenge. Okay. But when we do get audio, Bailey is saying, I just want to have a good last day here. She says, this experience has been 10 times better than my first season. I want to be able to hold my head high, be very proud of myself, and finish strong. And Christmas says, yes, ma'am. They have a long hug. Bailey says she appreciates the apology, and she thanks Christmas for giving her space before. So then Christmas is like, I love you. And Bailey's like, I know you do. That was the problem. But Bailey says, don't be bringing any of this shit to the Twitter streets. And Christmas says, no, like once I'm out of this house, the game is over. We'll see. I don't know. So they exchange some more like niceties. They talk about hanging out on the outside, meeting each other's significant others, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then, a few minutes later, Christmas was in the lounge with Devon. So Day says, shit happens. Friends fight. Everything happens for a reason. And she says, I think the Girls Alliance should still try to stick together. Now, we know that Day is just saying what she needs to say. She does not intend on working with this Girls Alliance moving forward. So Christmas is like, oh, I feel the same way. And they agree that they don't hold anything against each other. Okay, sure. So then Nicole and Cody are chatting in the key bedroom. And Nicole was upset. She feels so bad for the loss of his grandfather. And again, like our hearts go out to the Calafiori family. That's so sad. And I feel so bad for Cody that he can't be with his family during this difficult time. But Nicole is crying. She's frustrated that she can't spend more time with him and she couldn't be more of a comfort for him the other day. She doesn't want people to know how close they are, and she hates that like other people got to spend more time with him and comfort him. She feels like a bad friend. And Cody's like, no, I completely understand it. I don't want you to feel that way. And he says he went through the same exact thing when Derek's grandfather passed away on season 16. He didn't want everybody to see how close they were. So then they start having some game talk, and Nicole says Ian really wants to win HOH. And Ian said the only people that would be safe if he does win are me, you, and Dani. So Nicole says, Nicole says she's not sure if they should trust Ian. She says, I know you want to backdoor him, and I'm totally cool with it. So Cody says, I don't know. I go back and forth on that. He says, maybe I want to focus more on like flushing out the powers. He's not really sure, but he doesn't trust Ian. He just doesn't feel that Ian is targeting him right now. He is. So they talk about how Dani wants to target Tyler, and Cody says, you know what? If Tyler goes up, I'd vote him out in a second. He says, I don't want to openly say that to Dani, though, because I don't need that information floating around, and you know how Dani is with information in this house, so he doesn't want to say that to her. Interesting. And Cody's like, I don't know the right time to get rid of people. He says Derek was so methodical about it in season 16, and we all know that Cody could just like sit back and let Derek call the shots. So now he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who needs to go when. So Cody's like, I want to get rid of Kevin next. You're going to go for Kevin? So he thinks that Kevin might have a power, and Nicole agrees. She also wants Kevin gone next. They both feel good with Devon. And then Nicole is saying, I don't think it would be good for our games, for either of us, to win the next HOH. And Cody agrees. He says, I'll win if I have to, but hopefully someone that we're cool with will win HOH. They don't want to be doing the dirty work. So Nicole also shares with Cody, the girls are trying to make an alliance now. I would be so pissed about this, but Dani already spilled about the girls' alliance to Cody. This was not like a big surprise to him. Also, Christmas told Tyler. I mean, it's just annoying at this point. But Nicole says, even though the girls are kind of like trying to work together, she wants Day to go after Christmas. Is that bad? And Cody says, no, that would be good because we can't go after Christmas right now. It's too early for us to do it. Like, if somebody else does it, though, that's great. Okay, so then Nicole is like, you're still cool with me being your final two, right? And Cody's like, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? So they agree they would still choose each other. Cool. Okay. This is where I want to punch a wall. So Memphis was in the key bedroom with Nicole, Cody, and Dani last night. And honestly, I liked it better when Memphis was like lying around and just keeping his mouth shut, because now he's being awful. We already saw the other night that he was talking about Ian's rocking and like making fun of him for it. And now it's just even worse. So Memphis like walks into the room all ready to like share a story with everybody. And Memphis says, Ian is acting so weird. It's freaking me the F out. And Nicole's like, what do you mean? And Memphis says, what do you mean? He's like a totally different human being. And Nicole's like, oh yeah, he's confident now, right? So Memphis says, yeah, it's creepy as F. I don't like that. I don't like knowing someone for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and then one day it's just like, oh, I'm a totally different human. So Nicole is laughing her ass off during this whole entire thing. I mean, she is having the time of her life. It's not like some awkward chuckle. She is like freaking guffawing at this. So Nicole's like, oh my God, Memphis has really been cracking us up in here lately. Cody agrees. And then Dani's like, oh, I guess, you know, Ian's acting differently now because the nominations are locked, so he feels comfortable or whatever. So Memphis is like, it's effing bizarre. I don't care. I don't like that someone can change their total everything. The way you talk, the way you effing hold yourself, everything is totally different. I don't like that shit. It freaks me out. So then Dani is like, I'm going to tell Ian one night when he comes out in his underwear at 3 a.m. to go sit on the edge of Memphis's bed. And Memphis says, I will kick him in his teeth and I'll be like, he's on my bed. What do you want? I didn't know. I thought he was a ghost. I thought he was from The Shining. the puppet from Puppet Master. And Dani like does this kick and she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. Everybody is laughing their asses off, and Memphis is like, I'll just be like, it was an accident, sorry. And then Memphis is joking about scaring Ian in his sleep. Nicole says, oh, and then Ian will let out a big fart. Really? What is wrong with you people? They are freaking trash. So then Memphis says that he thinks that Ian has a twin and they're switching. Everybody, again, cracking up, laughing their asses off. Then Memphis imitates Ian's walk. He's talking about his whole vocabulary has changed. He's like unleashed all these new words on them. Maybe you're just freaking dumb. Is it because you feel dumb when you talk to Ian? Yeah. So anyway, he says something fishy is going on. So then Dani's like, you should interrogate him. And Nicole is like, leave him alone. It was kind of like she was just saying that, but she didn't, like, she was kind of laughing at the same, like, I don't know, whatever. So then Memphis is like, well, I asked production when I came in here if I can intimidate people or, like, bribe people. Of course he would ask that. So then the feeds change to Ian hanging out with David and Enzo and having a wonderful time. So I'm sorry, like, this is some bullshit. These people suck. Memphis, Dani, Nicole, Cody, for all, like, even the ones that weren't, like, actively participating, the ones that were laughing at all this and not sticking up for Ian, why is no one defending Ian? Nicole is supposed to be friends with him. So I don't, like, also, what happened to the conversation between Dani and Nicole earlier when they were like, we need to be nicer to Ian, like, I forget that he's on the spectrum sometimes. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry, but, like, are you kidding me? It just breaks my heart because Ian has spoken at length this season about how upsetting it was when people laughed at him after season 14. And I'm also heartbroken for him and, like, everyone watching this show who is on the autism spectrum and sees these people laughing at him. I just want you all to know that you are amazing, you are loved, and these people are trash. So don't listen to them because they just suck. But anyway, I'm going to move on. So the only other interesting thing from last night, Day talked to Kevin and Bailey separately about how she's been having doubts about David again. Ugh. Day, she just does not want to let this thing go with David. So she's afraid, excuse me. She's afraid that David is going to target her if he wins HOH. She's nervous about it. And Kevin is telling her, we need David moving forward. We can't be going after him. And Dave's like, what if I put him up as a pawn? Like he was saying before that he just wants to make it to jury. So now we're into jury. Like, you're welcome. No. So Kevin is like, we need him. We can't be risking that. Like, he might get sent out if you use him as a pawn. No. So hopefully if Devon wins HOH, she's not going to do something stupid. Okay, so today, Nicole and Cody were having a strategy chat in the HOH room. And remember when Nicole had her, like, best friend segment with Dani on the show? And I was like, it's only a matter of time before Nicole decides it's time to screw over Dani, right? Here we go. Here's the beginning. So Nicole says that Dani's plan is not what's best for their games. She says Dani wants Tyler, Christmas, Ian, Kevin, and David to go. And she says, that's not best for my game. Dani is keeping around the people that she is closer to. And she wants to get rid of all the people that would protect me. So Nicole is like, if she gets rid of all the people that I'm close to, then I'm going to have to get closer to you. And she says that Dani's going to get mad if she gets closer to Cody. This sounds like a big brother love triangle. Kaser was right. Again, right? So Cody says, Nicole, you don't have to worry about it because Tyler and Enzo will put Dani on the block the second that they want to. We've already talked about it. And he says other people are also onto Dani. Like, everybody sees through her game, so you don't have to worry about her. So then Cody is like, Dani told me how worried she is about how close I am to Tyler. And now Cody is saying that they're not getting rid of Tyler anytime soon. The day before, when Cody and Nicole were talking about Tyler, he was like, oh yeah, I'll vote Tyler out in a second. In a few weeks. In a few weeks. He's saying Tyler's not going anywhere right now. So yeah, it's not lining up with what he said before. I had a feeling that was bullshit. But anyway, it sounds like they both would put up Kevin and David if they win HOH. And Nicole is saying she doesn't want to win HOH this week. She claims that she's not throwing it, though. We'll see. Back to Dani, because they had to talk about her more. Nicole says it bugs her that Dani tells Cody everything before she gets a chance to. Yo, it's a freaking rat race up in here. These two are racing each other to see who can spill everything to Cody first. Oh my God. So Cody is like, don't worry. I don't trust anyone more than I trust you. Nicole is so jealous. And Nicole says, I felt like I was supposed to be Dani's number one, but maybe you are. So Nicole feels like Dani might be playing her at this point. She's not happy about it. So then Nicole shares how Dani said, well, if Cody doesn't have a final 2 deal with me, then he must have one with Enzo. And Cody says, wait a second. Dani did make a final 2 deal with me, so she is lying to you. That's all Nicole needed to hear. Nicole says, Dani is dead to me. I don't feel bad about axing her now. She says, that's all I needed to hear. She is pissed. Cody leaves to go to the bathroom. Nicole is freaking whispering to herself, I've never betrayed her. I've only tried to help her. She says, I made a final 2 with Cody for her. Big brother love triangle. So at least we're getting to see these 3 like fall apart now. That's a lot of fun. But anyway, tonight is the eviction. Unless something insane happens, Bailey will be leaving. It'll be interesting to see if Enzo sticks with his theme of voting however the F he wants, because that's what we've seen him do in the past. I don't know. But anyway, I want to know from you guys, who are you rooting for to win this next HOH competition? Again, it's supposed to be on the feeds tonight. Hi!
I'm going to walk in here like,
oh, hello.
oh no, I'm getting pulled out of the room.
Oh, are you the South Korean CNN child?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I see a lot of you are rooting for Devon. I'd be cool with a Devon win as long as she doesn't do anything stupid. Yeah. Louie! I think Kevin knows what's up. I think David knows what's up. I think Ian knows what's up. So we'll see. I don't know. So anyway, I want to thank all of our super chatters today. You guys are amazing. So we've got Jody Cortez, Jefferson Tucker. Come back, Minnie.
I'm out of here.
Sheena 123. Sheena asked, can Day win an endurance competition? I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible, and I know she really wants it. So we'll see. I don't know. But thank you so much. And we've got, is this Dawn MH 302? Dawn MH 302. Thank you so much. Lori Guevara, thank you so much. Carson Atkinson, thank you so much. S. Dean, thank you so much. John Cordero, thank you so much. Oh my God, you got fired?
He was watching the video during work.
I am so sorry to hear that. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
He was thinking of ending things anyway.
Oh, really?
His job.
Yeah. I am so sorry that happened. I hope that you get a new, better opportunity. I feel so bad. If I was rich, I would totally just like pay your salary. Yeah. I am so sorry. Oh my God. Keep us updated on that, please. Yeah. Like, let us know what's going on. Like, we are rooting for you. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, but we are rooting for you. And thank you for supporting us. You're incredible. But we really hope that you find something good. Wow.
Something better.
Yeah. Something amazing and better than what you were already doing. But thank you. And Rachel McClung, thank you so much. Candy, thank you so much. And Nancy Cowden, thank you so much.
And may I give you a round of applause? You were very well spoken.
Guys, you have no idea. Like, I had to take a break from working on the spoiler today to go on the exercise bike to like let out my rage because
You just blowing off some steam?
I was ready to freaking tear heads off of bodies. So this making fun of Ian thing is so messed up. I'm so upset about it.
It's the lowest of the low.
It's very low. But anyway, it's eviction night. So we'll see you guys all later for the episode chat. And I'll see you tomorrow for the spoiler.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Until next time. Much love. Thank you for chatting. Much love.